Let's do a little evening wrap up for Tuesday, March 12th. First, talk about a statement that was largely overlooked in the mayhem of yesterday. It was a rather quiet day from Kensington Palace. I'm going to talk about what they might do moving forward. And I'm going to tell you what I think led up to this Mother's Day pick. First up, the British Press Photographers Association said, I would like to reclaim my time. They put out a pretty stunning rebuke of the events over the past couple of days and the photo editing on the Mother's Day photo, but also the actions of the media. They state that we are led to believe that HRH, the Princess of Wales, has said that she edited the image and has apologized. I think that qualifier is more than fair because the public hasn't had a lot of reason to believe Kensington Palace over the past couple of days. This is one of the many things that myself and Amanda, matter of fact, discussed with Mike Smith of The Mike Smith Show. Can we sidebar for a second? I did not know this morning that I was going to be on live Canadian radio. There was a moment when we were in the waiting room and we just looked at each other. And we didn't say a word, but we didn't need to. Because it was like, what is my life? What? I keep waiting to wake up and I really don't want to. It goes on to say that should not be the end of the matter, however. The apology is not enough. Whether the picture was manipulated to look nice by someone who didn't understand the importance of truth in images, or whether there is something else behind their actions is not as important as getting the message out there that it is wrong. This is not about coming down hard on Kate, although I do believe that is one of the reasons that Kensington Palace had her issue that statement, was so that they could hide behind the woman who's had surgery. It was her team's responsibility to make sure it was up to snuff when it was submitted to international news agencies. And then there is this line that they clearly felt was very important, so they moved it to a different paragraph and put it in bold italics. The press must take care not to publish inaccurate or misleading or distorted information or images, including headlines not supported by the text. They came for the headlines and I said nothing. The BPPA basically gave away the first part of my next series for my Substack, How to Write a Misleading Article. I think their wording is very intentional. They're not saying, when it comes to this photo or the situation, they are making a blanket statement. The statement doesn't just call for more to be done, it calls for the original photo, which Kensington Palace has been adamant that they are not going to release. Although according to an article in The Sun, which of course take with a massive heaping amount of salt, drown yourself in salt. Not only we're not going to show the original, we're not even going to tell you what was edited, why it was edited, but they did say that it wasn't multiple images and it came from a single source. I don't know why they said that, because the most gracious take is that Kate was lying in her bed with, Adobe Photoshop open and was trying to merge images where you could get the best face of each individual, and they kind of took that away. Here's what I think happened after multiple pieces that I've read. I did a video the week of February 28th where it seemed like people who usually aren't into royal stuff are starting to question where Kate is. This paparazzi shot goes out early last week. We know from a certain former royal reporter who likes to mention it all on Twitter that Kensington Palace put extreme pressure on the British media not to publish this photo. I still think this was called in. Oh, the British media gets to look all high and mighty by saying that they respect Catherine's privacy, which they don't respect privacy. They respect access to the palace. This photo is spreading like wildfire because welcome to 2024, there is an internet. Photo isn't helping the conversation die down online. I do think it's also worth noting that I haven't seen in the British media, from what I've read, anyone question if this is Kate. Mother's Day in the UK is fast approaching. I don't think the plan was to put anything out. We were told in the original statement that we would not see Catherine until around Easter, although I've heard that that might have changed to Trooping the Color, but then her name might have been removed from that, so I don't know. And even some in the press said that they usually get a photo fairly early, it's embargoed until they can release it. That didn't happen in this situation. I compared a couple of different articles and what they had to say about the metadata in Kate's photo. They generally agree that edits definitely happened on Friday night. Some people say that they went well into Saturday night. So this was being edited up until the last minute. All they had to do was scrap this plan, not submit a new official photo to international news agencies, and just put out a series of photos of Catherine through the years with the children, with a lovely message signed by her. They could have posted that on their social media, and you send it out. And that way, the press has something to go off of. Look, Kate has given a statement. And for all the people that are like, well, we still want to see Kate, you can still point back to the original statement released by Kensington Palace when she had surgery saying she will be back around Easter. And after a couple of days, that car photo would have died down. That's not what they did. They submitted a photo to international news agencies that they knew had standards for editing. So for everyone who's like, well, everyone photoshops. Girl, are you sending your Facetune to the AP? It's not the same. And with AI and the growing concern of manipulated or fake images, especially with elections coming up, this matters. And now news organizations such as CNN are reviewing all Kensington Palace handout photos. That is a massive loss in trust. I'm not even going to talk about the pap shot that was issued hours after the apology. You know, just Kate and William carpooling, seeing each other off to their different events, like they all do. This was weird, this was bad, and it seems like at some point someone was like, okay, let's just pump the brakes here and regroup. Today, from what I've seen, they have been mum on the topic. I was asked on the Mike Smith radio show what I think next steps might be for Kensington Palace and their PR. I kind of turned the question around because I think it depends, and it partially depends on the pressure the media, especially the British media, puts on Kensington Palace. I can see a world where they're like, you know what, we're just not going to say anything else. We're going to let this die down. The British media is going to let up on us and we can move forward like everything's fine. But now that there are international concerns and a lack of trust, a loss of trust in the palace, in specifically the palace, the comms team for the future king and queen, I think that is going to be harder to get away with just silence. Honesty is the best policy here. Just tell people what happened. Was it a cobbled together photo in response to a photo earlier that week that you did not authorize and you felt like you had to get something out there? Was it a photo that was taken and maybe Kate wasn't loving how she looked and she edited it, which, like, we've all been there. It would be so much easier to just tell the truth. Everyone suspects it is multiple images combined into one. Just stop lying. Tell the truth. I think that is the only way you might be able to start cobbling back the trust from the public and the larger international media. In regards to the media, my hope is that tomorrow or potentially Thursday, I can do a video that compares the US media coverage of the situation to what the British media is saying. Stay tuned.